he chewed on plastic.
Your dog's a pervert.
He pervert on guys.
I know. Like, whenever a guy tells him to do something, he immediately does it, and it's crazy. But I still think you have a different perspective on passive aggressive than I do.
Before,
like, the comment I told you that my mom and I say to each other, like, we're not intending to hurt each other's feelings. Like, we're literally just passing jokes along. But you were like, oh, that's passive aggressive.
But in this stranger eyes, it looked like if they don't know your relationship in between, they will see that as a passive aggressive way.
But I feel like that's making assumptions then. Instead of being like, hey, is that how you and your mom normally talk to each other? And you're like, yeah. Oh, okay.
I guess, like, that's the different culture coming from, because we don't talk to our parents. I don't talk to my parents like that.
I mean, you saw, like, we went out drinking with my mom. My mom's fucking funny.
Your mom is the cool mom.
I used to not even be able to do sleepovers, even as a teenager, or even when I was, like, 19 years old.
What happened? What changed?
When I guess I moved out the first time, and then like multiple times after that, like as I gotten older, like my mom, I recognize what a great mom I have, like an amazing, wonderful mother. But at the same time, my mom recognized who I was. And there's also the aspect that a lot of people don't realize that when your parent can come back to you and be like, oh, I was wrong, I'm sorry, or this happened, I'm sorry.
That's never happened in Asian household.
Oh, my mom has done that a lot. My mom and I will constantly talk, like my mom actually cries, like she's like, in the best way possible. She was just like, I really did not mean for that to happen. Like, I'm so sorry. Or she'll regret things that happened when I was a kid. Or she'll be like, I can see the differences in your life compared to how I treat your brother and you. Because my brother's like 10, 11. And so I think a lot of respect is built off just an apology. Because a lot of parents don't apologize to their children.
Especially in Asian household. I don't know, it's just only Asian household or as black as white. But for me, like my background, all I seen in Asian household, they don't like.
It's not a thing in Hispanic households. Like, but my mom went to therapy.
Is this common for Hispanic family to tell each other "I love you"? Like,
no, my mom thought it was weird.
Oh, okay.
So I learned that from my dad. My dad is white, obviously, if people can't tell by looking at me. But I think I was like 16, 17 at the time, and I was like, okay, bye mom, love you. And then she was like, why do you always have to say that?
Oh.
And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, why do I need to know, or why do I have to say to you that I love you? Like, isn't that obvious?
But I mean, you didn't force the other person to say I love you back. You just say your piece, right?
I don't know. It's just something my dad always had said to me, and I guess it's probably because, like, we don't talk that often. But I do see that he does do it with my little sister, and she's only 3. But my mom thought it was flippin' weird. So my mom will not initiate by saying it unless I say it first. It's actually really uncommon. Like, I've never heard it from my grandmother at all, ever. I don't remember ever hearing her ever say that to my mother. Ever. And my grandmother and my mom both think, like, hugging is uncomfortable. And I do feel the same way. I don't like touching people. Like, my grandmother, like, if you try to hug her, she just, like, on your back. And then my mother, you saw, I hugged her, and it was, like, super weird.
She just posed. She just posed.
She's so funny. It's so cute. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think it's the funniest thing. Because it's like, I don't like touching people either. But like, just watching my mom be uncomfortable when I hug her is like the best thing possible. And I guess I'm being kind of mean to my mom. Because I know that it makes her uncomfortable. But, no, my mom's funny. Like, my mom's fucking hilarious. Like, my husband will answer the phone when I'm supposed to be answering when she calls me, and he's like, hi, Mom! And then she just starts laughing, and she was like, hi, my daughter! And she'll do that same high-pitched voice. They're really funny. No, but, like, I think that, sorry to get off topic, but I think that apologies go a long way, and I think it built a much better relationship than my mom and I had, because before it was not as good as it is now at all. But now you see my mom and you're like, bro, she seems like the cool mom.
Yeah.
Like, she seems like the mom that everyone wants, because like, she'll see, like, for instance, my brother's upset about something and she'll be behind him and she's like she'll shrug her shoulders, she's like, I don't get it, but okay, and she'll walk away. Or like, my brother will be mad about something and he's explaining to me why he's mad at my mom, and my mom's just behind him, and she's like, has like a glass of wine in her hand, and she was like, he's mad about something. Whatever it is, okay. Like, my mom is so motherfucking chill. And like, he'll get sick, and obviously my mom's worried, but she makes sure that like people don't, like, for instance, the thing that happened to me on Sunday with the cycle trainer or whatever that was really rude to me and screamed at me, telling me to get out of her class. And I was like, fuck no, like, this is an open gym for a reason. If I don't insult you, you can't kick me the fuck out. Mm-hmm. Just because I have headphones on because you have shitty music. But that's another comment. Maybe it was passive-aggressive for me to leave my headphones on, but that woman had no taste in music at all. But my mom was so upset about it. She came to visit me the next day. Like, she was just like, are you okay? Like, are you feeling better? And even my mom's husband was like, you need to make sure that they know why you're mad, because that's so disrespectful. Yeah, no, they're cool. Yeah. But I think you and I have a different perspective on passive-aggressive. Because so far, what you told me is passive-aggressive. I'm like, oh, okay.
I kind of see that, for example, the one that you mentioned, like when you're wearing headphones, in comparison, they were in the class, then it kind of like, for the trainer, it see that it's passive-aggressive.
Possibly. I can see that. But if I'm in the back of the class...
And you were there before. And
I was there way before that class started, like 20 minutes.
And there was no class schedule outside.
Mm-hmm. There was no class schedule outside. And on top of that, someone else had their headphones on.
And they didn't say nothing to that person?
She was closer to the front than I was.
Then I think she's passive-aggressive towards to her, but she's aggressive to you.
Possibly. I don't know. But people are crazy. Like, someone's sipping on something.
If you didn't know the whole backstory, just listen back to our like
podcast before on assholes.
Yeah, the podcast related was the asshole experience.
I mean, I've dealt with asshole experiences, but I'm someone that's more like, I'm either gonna be chill or I'm gonna be aggressive. And for the most part, the rest of it is just, let's just joke around. Like, why take life so seriously? Like, it seems like when people are super passive-aggressive all the time, they're holding on to too much. It seems like a waste of time to me.
What do you mean they're holding on too much?
Because it seems like, based off what you said, a lot of passive-aggressive behaviors are things that are held on for a longer period of time than you just saying, yo, I'm angry.
Because they don't want to be like, make people feel like they're angry. Like, they want to be, they want to be like, oh, I'm the Saint Mary. Like, I still do all this stuff for you, but I'm freaking angry at you. Like, make sure your dumb ass actually understand this.
Do you, when you think back at what you just said, and if you ever rewind and listen to this podcast, Do you know how stupid that sounds?
Yeah, now I can see that.
I'd rather just say the first time, like, bro.
Maybe sometimes when you mention the first time, this person's still not doing anything like close to like a compromise at all. So it gets to the point that you just feel like, yeah, that's pointless now. Like, I'm just low key angry. That's the like passive aggressiveness will come in. Why you look like this? Like, she looks like she's did not agree.
I don't agree at all. Like, yeah, no. I guess, okay, so I don't know. For me, I guess maybe my passive aggressive behaviors, what I do is like, I just ignore the person.
Well, somebody did that in the finest. Like, I remember somebody was mad when we were working together. And that person met.
Oh yeah, what he did? Oh my god!
Like
that guy when he came at me, and he was like, "I heard that your coworker was like upset about a little joke that I played," and he literally came at me like, "Oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I just fucked with all of your car. The car that one of us, like, the fact that he did that." And he was like, "I don't understand why you're mad." And then I looked at him, and what did I say? In front of a group of people, he was told by our boss to apologize to our coworker. He comes up to me and he was like, "Oh, can you tell him it was just a joke?" And I looked at him in front of like a huge group of men while he was looking down at me when I was in my seat. I leaned back, I rolled my shoulder over, and I looked at him and I was like, "You don't think that's childish to just mess with someone's car?" And he like kept cutting me off. I was like, "You need to stop cutting me off because I'm trying to make my point across, because what you were doing was disrespectful and you were doing it on purpose. It's not childish if you're messing with the same person over and over again just to irritate them." I was like, "That's not cool." And I was like, "This is a workplace, a professional environment." He was like, "Oh, well, can't you just tell him that it was a friendly joke?" And I was like, "We don't know you. We don't talk to you. We don't even work the same hours as you do. So how are we friends? When did I ever say, 'Yo, friend'?" And then, yeah, that's right. That's right. That man's a bitch. That man, what did he was like, "Oh, if you can just tell him." I was like, "Well, I'm not in kindergarten anymore, so I don't play the game telephone. So you can tell him yourself." And he was like, "Oh, well, why can't you just tell him?" I was like, again, I'm going to say this again. As I said, I don't know, like 2 seconds beforehand, you can tell him yourself, because my job is not to relay your apology. Because again, I'm going to say this again, I don't play telephone. So you can do it yourself. And then he was like, "Oh, it's just a joke, Lindsay." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't care if you thought it was funny. I don't know you. You're not my friend. And this is a professional work environment where I don't even speak to you. And by the way, the boxes you threw out of our car, you broke a bunch of screens that were worth a lot of money. But you didn't see me complaining then. You demolished property that was company property. Thankfully, there's warranty on it, so I can just send it back and get it. But you still broke perfectly good screens. But you don't see me outing you for this. But you're going to play the victim? Keep playing the victim. It was only one of our particular coworkers. And he wasn't just doing that.
To me.
He would disconnect the phone. He would change the language. He would do all these things. And at that time, I think what peaked for our coworkers is because he knew that the man broke the screens.
Of the fun.
Not on the camera. Our screens.
Computer screens in the car?
No, the computer screens. What was our job?
We're tech. We're computer, like we're hardware.
We
tech.
had a box of hardware in the car. I don't want to say it because then it points out what happened.
Yeah, I understand that part, but that wasn't the part that set our coworker off, because the one that
it peaked and then like it like the last thing and then it just broke the camel's back. And by the way, our coworker never even mentioned that to our boss.
I think it's not relevant. He mentioned whatever is in the present, and that present he messed him up with changing the mirror, move all the side door mirror.
It's so fucking petty too. And then you're gonna act like you didn't do it on purpose. Like, bro, I'm not even mad that he did it. I'm mad that you're gonna play like you didn't do shit. And then you're gonna tell everyone that I'm being an erratic like individual. No, bro, I don't like you for a reason. You're weird.
He's obvious. Like, he turned the mirrors all the way 360 degree, and you're telling somebody that you're not doing this. And he meshed all the car seats.
That's where
every single time.
That's where and he's not skinny. Like, our coworker is skinny enough to get in the car that thin.
The car seat was all the way up to the front to the wheel.
And you know what's even funnier is. Our coworker didn't even say who did it.
Then how did they find out?
Because it's not the first time he's done it to people.
Oh.
So our boss at the time knew exactly who it was.
By the way, I remember this one sentence that you bring up, really, really good point. When you address the situation, you have mentioned to this person particularly, because he was like, oh, it was a joke. Why this person is so mad? What, can you just help me to say sorry? But you mentioned that only is this a joke when the other person found funny. By the way,
I was like,
we don't know you.
Yeah, I don't mess with you. And by the way, I used to talk to him every morning, like at least in the morning when I was like chill with that person. But then after a while, the person just seemed kind of weird. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna speak to you in the morning, even though that's when you're coming in about to leave. I was like, I don't wanna. It's just like the situation grates my ears, and I'll say this again. I think I've said it. It's not the fact that he was doing it. It's when you got pointed out, you played at first like you had no idea what he was talking about, and then after that you played as if it was a joke within 2 minutes of our conversation. Just admit you didn't like us using the cars. Just admit it. You don't like that.
Passive aggressive.
Just say, yo, I don't like how you're using the car. Can you do this from now on? Yo, I would prefer, this. You know how easy that is? How easy that is to just be like, to be straight up.
Or just ask nicely, like, can we trade the car instead of using this car? I feel more comfortable using this car. Fine. We will be fine. But instead you're doing
no, I wouldn't do that.
I would be fine, but he did all the stuff that.
Do you know the other van? You know what their van is?
I know.
Do you know the nickname of that van?
No, but I remember before I get to
It's the blackout van.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I know the
You
bridge.
and I cannot drive that blackout van.
Let's put dial back up.
No.
Before I get there, you girls broke the mirror off the car.
I did not do that, first of all. And that car had so much worse shit done on it from the people before me. And I did not do that.
I don't know. I'm questioning. I don't know. I'm questioning because before I get there,
you weren't even there to know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. But
I know why
this mirror.
That wasn't even my choice. I wanted to just rip it off.
How can I see the freaking wall? See, dangerous. I wasn't like this.
Oh my god. It wasn't even me who duct tapes it, but whatever. Fuck that. But, what is it called? But those are passive aggressive behaviors, I would think.
That is passive aggressive. In the next level, it's like more close to like a hatred. It's not even passive aggressive. Like you're legitimately like putting in action to get to the point that you make sure the other people notice that.
There was one person to this day, I'm just like, I'm okay with you, but I don't want to socialize with you that much. There was one person.
Do I know that person?
No, I don't think so. It's not that you're gonna remember them. You know, I like my space. You know, I don't like touching people, and if I accidentally bump into someone, I'm immediately someone to say, like, I'm so sorry, right? And this person liked to fist bump people or whatever, and I told this person, I don't like touching people, so thank you, but no. And then they would start pointing their finger at me, being, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, people, and then wave their finger in my face. And I was like, and I just walked away. He did it for a second time, and he was like, I'm not touching you, I'm not like one morning, and it was just the wrong morning to get me. It was just the wrong morning, and I put my hands up like as if I was gonna, like as if a cop was shining a light at me. And I said, I think I've said this one time, and I think one time is enough. You need to not be close to me. You need to back up. I told you I don't like people touching me or being near me in my space. And I gave you the respectful response, and you're getting in my space, and it is going to be a very hard day, and you need to back up. And my hands went from high five hands to clenched hands, and I had my eyes closed the whole time that I said that. And one of our coworkers, our other very nice coworker, had seen me do that.
I was like, oh my God, are you okay?
He went like this. And then the person like backed up 5 steps or 3 steps. I don't know how many, but he backed up a couple steps. I went around him. And then I remember what happened. I was like grabbing something, and the person that did the I'm not touching you was like, oh, you know, bye Lindsay. And I was like, bye, have a good day. And then our coworker who saw the whole exchange was like, damn, Lindsay, you go from 0 to 100 back to 0 very quickly. And I was like, but then he never messed with me again. But the thing is like, I feel like one morning is enough.
Maybe when you're warning that person, you're like smiling, or
No,
like,
I don't. You know, I don't smile like that at people.
I didn't see the scene. I wasn't able to tell how you actually.
Okay, look at me right now. I don't like when people are touching me, so I'm just not gonna fist bump you, but I'm gonna be a few steps away because I don't like being near people, and I'll just wave at you. But I'm just not someone that likes touching.
That's how you exactly say it.
Yeah.
So, sometimes people are dumb.